First met Norman in the Europa Hotel about 11 years ago, and he told me a very long story about a man in Kilkeel. And at the end of that story, I didn't really know what he was talking about, but I knew I really liked him and I really wanted to work with him.
Yeah, I first met Norman in Cambridge, and I always recall Norman. I mean, to work in that environment, you needed to be exceptionally bright and exceptionally gifted. But he also had this wonderful interest in engineering and how things work. And it's that kind of balance that I think was the foundation that then led to all the many other things that he's achieved since.
Norman has one of the brightest minds I've ever came across.
Norman is one of the smartest people I've ever worked with. He's the reason we are where we are right now.
He's probably the most inspirational person you can meet.
I think Norman obviously had the vision in the first place about what Catalyst Inc. could become, and he also had the resilience to make that vision come true.
The vision was really to try and use expertise in advanced technology to drive new, vibrant economic development.
And I mean, there were many barriers at the beginning. I mean, to join the science park when there was no science park, to join the science park where there was no buildings.
He had the vision for this. No one really saw it. A lot of people thought it was going to be a white elephant, but here we are today, basically the economic hub of Northern Ireland.
He transformed a derelict site to what Catalyst is today.
And as I say, it's not just in the infrastructure here with the Catalyst Inc. organisation and what you have around the science park, it also extends to other parts of Northern Ireland.
What Norman has been able to do is to catalyse that endeavour across Northern Ireland and wider afield for a very, very positive effect.
Norman's legacy is that he has 25 people in this building who will be pushing forward his dream and his vision.
The actual economic infrastructure of Northern Ireland has changed as a result of Norman being here.
There has been quite a distinct change in the culture that has promoted and promotes entrepreneurship, and I think that culture is a very important legacy of Norman's.
More importantly, he's leaving us with an ambition and drive that's stronger than ever to ensure that Northern Ireland does become one of the most entrepreneurial knowledge economies in Europe by 2030.
For Norman, it is about doing this for Northern Ireland. It is about creating a future for our children and our grandchildren, and that just comes through in everything that he does.
We didn't need anyone's permission. We just did it. And that's his legacy. He enabled that. He enabled people like me to come in and be inspired and have had the most extraordinary adventures based out of the science park. So yes, his legacy is deep and it will be long lasting.
One of my favourite memories of Norman is the time that he got the brass band to come at Christmas. Who arrived down but the Salvation Army brass band, the full band, and came in with all their brass instruments, and they deafened us out of the place.
I brought my kids to see Norman in his house, and they were probably at that stage about 4 or 5. But he talked to them about science and he talked to them about maths. And so, to his credit, they are all doing maths and physics today.
He's kind, considerate, he puts everyone first, and we as a family love him and are very proud of him.
I feel very privileged to have had him as a boss, a mentor and a friend. So thank you, Norman, for believing in me, inspiring me, protecting me, but also letting me fail when I needed to.
I would describe Norman as inspiring.
One of a kind.
The one word would be visionary.
Brilliant.
Passionate.
Patient.
Selfless.
Wizzywig.
Loquacious.
Motivating. Visionary.
Enthusiast.
Inspirational.
He is a legend.
I would describe Norman in one word as Norman. And the reason I say that is there are some people who are so well known that you know them by the first name. Think Arlene, Rory, Madonna. It's the same thing with Norman. There is only one, and all you have to do is say Norman.
I want to wish you a very, very happy retirement.
Enjoy your retirement.
Don't forget to visit us, and we'll miss you terribly.
This is not retirement, Norman. You've got to keep going, you've got to keep reaching out, and you've got to keep telling your stories.
He needs to let himself wind down and reflect, and maybe get that car up to Ballycastle a bit more and put the feet up and relax.
Norman will never retire. Any advice that I might give is completely futile.
So if you think about our values, integrity, be bold and be passionate, it's on each of us in every moment, in every day, whenever we're making plans or whenever we're making a decision in the day, that's what we apply. That's how we behave, that's who we are. And that's who Norman is. So my hope is that I can continue that, and I can take a bet on lots of crazy kids from around the world who want to come here and do amazing things. I don't know if there's anybody else in the world who could have done what Norman's done. And so the greatest tribute that we can pay to Norman is that we make what he has started and what he has built, we make it sing.